What is the purpose of your life? When it comes to our lives, everyone should have a purpose. Purpose can range from being realistic, such as getting a house, to a bit harder to accomplish, such as becoming a millionaire. Purpose is the motivation that keeps us fighting and going. Without purpose, life becomes meaningless. Even if you think you don't have a purpose, you probably do. It doesn't have to be an amazing achievement. You can improve on your hobbies, get a raise, or just put a little extra into your daily activities. While you may have purposes in your head, they may seem far out and hard to accomplish. Ignore those feelings. They are just noises to keep you distracted from reaching your purpose. Any purpose that is scientifically possible is possible. You can lose those pounds. You can get that job. And even if you don't fully reach the goal, the journey can teach you something. A mind of steel makes purposes and puts in all the effort to accomplish them. Write your purposes down and think about steps you can do to achieve it. Initially, it doesn't necessarily have to be a concrete plan, but a general path you can take. First, any path will have pit stops and detours, so keep that in mind when writing down your plan. A bulletproof mind will measure and manage your purposes as you go along. Then go towards that purpose. Ignore the noise. If people say you can't do it or you think you can't, just keep running. If you trip, get back up. Enjoy the journey, but don't give up towards reaching a place that keeps you satisfied, be it your purpose or something you didn't think you wanted. How you can identify your purpose and be driven by it. Sketch out your purpose. Ask yourself, what would you want to achieve down the 5 to 10 years? Take some time to ponder about it. Financial independence, having a happy family, retired by the age 40, becoming a well-known designer, and the list goes on. I believe there must be something that might tickle your fancy. Now, whether on a sheet of paper, on a tablet, or whatever else you use to write things down, sketch a plan to accomplish your purpose. Do a bit of research. Talk to people who have accomplished your goal. Look at your circumstances and your limits. Then, make the plan. Maintain clarity. Keep your mind clear and on the big picture when you're pursuing your purposes. What we mean is that you should be at full mental capacity. Leave all your worries and stresses behind. Eat a nutritious meal. Get a full night's sleep. Have a clear focus on what is ahead of you. But also try to be realistic too. If purpose goal cannot be accomplished at this time, try a smaller one, and never give in to the hate. If what you have in mind differs from what other people think, don't be upset just because they don't share the same vision and purpose like you. Chanting. Sometimes chanting your goals to yourself can get you motivated. This is called the chanting mantra. Get into a meditative position, focus on your goal, and chant it. Chant it until you feel more motivated than ever. As you are on the go, you can whisper under your breath some reassurance, especially if something isn't going your way. For example, chant this: "I'm not going to give up without a good fight," or "I'll do whatever it takes." Always remind yourself. Your mind needs constant reminders. There's always the phone option, but if you're the person who gets easily distracted, there are other ways to do this too. Write it down. Get some sticky notes and stick them all over your fridge, bathroom, office, or bedroom. Get the idea drilled into your head by seeing reminders. Seeing the same thing over and over can brand it into your mind. It's how advertisements work. Speaking of ads, create your own catchy little jingle or phrase to keep you motivated. Don't just say a generic phrase. Even if you feel like your words are white lies, it'll become reality if you repeat it enough. Simple yet effective ways to eliminate the negative energy. People with minds of steel expel most of the negative energy around them. There are a lot of religious and spiritual names for this energy. You are most probably familiar with this negativity or even struggling with it. Here are a few tips to keeping your negative energy at bay. Begin by working smart, not hard. Very rarely, so rare in fact that it's not even worth noting, some ordinary person gets everything handed to them through sheer luck. We're not talking about being born into wealth, but someone winning the lottery or stumbling on a bag full of money. For those who went from rags to riches, successful people's stories involve a lot of hard work and effort. For example, if you're building a business, you have to put effort into it. Your name has to get out if you want to attract an audience. Make the business plan and also promote your business as much as possible. Hire the best employees for the job. Make the effort. Even if you don't own a business, you have to work smart and show effort to climb the ladder. Doing it halfway will just keep you stuck in the same old job every day, and that's never fun. If you want to succeed, think about how you can put more effort. Are there hours in your day you can spend to be more productive? Apply to more jobs. Think about it, and you can meet your goals. Ignore the negative energy that tells you that you can't do it. Is all negativity bad? It's not very nuanced to say that all negative thinking is bad. While a positive outlook can help you reach your goal, and your persistency attitude is the key for winning. Our society has been built on negative thoughts. Sometimes healthy skepticism is needed for a healthy mind. You'll sometimes have days where you feel depressed, and that's fine. You're not going to be positive all the time. If you have that mindset, you may give up on a day you feel negative. The goal is to reduce the unnecessary negativity. Ignore the haters, whether it's people or your thoughts. By haters, we mean people who are negative without a reason. They don't provide criticism that makes you grow or think. Instead, use their negative criticism as a drive. When someone says you can't do it, be more motivated to prove them wrong. Negative thoughts have caused people to do great things too, as long as there is a positive spin. For example, let's look at envy. Envy is considered by the religious to be a deadly sin, yet everyone has it. You see someone who has something you don't, and you want it too. Instead of hating them and feeling upset, make it a strong drive. How can you get that thing you want? How to eliminate the negative energy. Sleep well. It's an obvious one, but the key to sleeping is getting the required hours of sleep. For some, this is easier said than done. The stresses of life can keep you up at night. A hectic schedule can lead to you waking up early. By getting the proper amount of sleeping, quality hours will drastically improve your decision-making and sharper mind. Begin naturally by having a relaxing sleep, letting go all your cluttered thoughts and worries. You've done enough during the daytime, you don't need to carry it with you at night. Further, by exercising regularly, you can improve the sleep quality, especially those with sleeping disorders, and better sleep equals a happier you. You can even try meditation to calm down your body to have a full night's sleep, or by benefiting from medications such as valerian root or melatonin, which can make you rest easier without the harsh drugs. Exercise well. Exercising is yet another way to get rid of the negative energy in your body. Lifting weights and kickboxing can help get out anger in you and keep your body strong as you age. It doesn't have to be a tough workout either. Besides keeping us healthy, it keeps our mind occupied by not overthinking things whilst improving our cardiovascular. Speaking of which, Working out also contributes to your hormonal balance too. To get you started, why not begin by visiting a nearby gym or even by running or doing yoga? Running keeps your heart healthy, and your mind is occupied by the runner's high. Meanwhile, yoga is good for peace of mind and releasing all the negative emotions. Stop the drugs. We're not talking about never having a beer with a friend or having a glass of wine after work. Instead, we're referring to people who constantly use alcohol, as well as other drugs, as a form of escapism. Someone with a bulletproof mind knows these things should only be used occasionally, if at all, and keeps a clear mind whenever possible. If you're constantly doing drugs, slowly detox your body from all the garbage, and you'll feel a lot better. Converting the negativity into actions. Write down all the negative emotions you have, or the negative words people have said to you. Then scrutinize those words. How many of those words are warranted? How many are just plain, nonsensical garbage? Which negative feelings can you flip into something positive? Every time you have a negative thought or hear something negative, add it to this list. The key elements to decisiveness. No one became successful because they sat around thinking the world was going to fall apart around them. This is the law of attraction at work. Decisive people will attract success. People will want to be around you, building you a little network. You'll find yourself being more confident towards challenges you would have backed off beforehand. Confidence goes a long way. Society likes someone who believes they can do it, and drowns out anyone who says they can't. By exuding confidence, you will find yourself being more likely to succeed, and when you fail, you'll imagine yourself succeeding next time and learning from your mistakes. Taking risks are the key for success. For example, one of your parents probably had to take a risk and ask your other parent out, creating you in the future. With a brighter outlook, you can find yourself taking risks. However, these risks must be weighted and calculated. You can't just recklessly go into anything. For example, when asking for a raise, think about the best time to do it. If profits are down and the boss is in a sour mood, don't ask. Save the asking for when your boss is in a better mood and not overwhelmed. Everyone has regrets, but instead of moping, be self-correcting. Learn from your mistakes and figure out how you can fix them in the future. Have a brighter outlook on the past, and then focus on the now. Also, don't focus too much on the future either. You can overthink outcomes, and this can cause you to back away from taking a risk. Try to think of how many times you've overthought something and it turned out better than expected. By this, we don't mean you should ignore people who have an informed concern about what you're doing. Sometimes, you should get multiple perspectives before taking a risk. We're talking about those who always say that you can't do it. They just squawk no like a bird and provide no good advice otherwise. The comfort zone. You might think that working that boring job every day is fine because you're familiar with it, and it gives you financial peace of mind. Living in your one-horse town is fine because you know every person and location there, and if you move to a new place, you'd have to relearn. Did you realize that this has become your comfort zone? If you are happy with what you are doing, then that's fine. However, what if you are unhappy and stuck doing the same thing for the rest of your life, and then ending with nothing but regrets? If only you stepped out of your comfort zone and lived life. Now, you're at the end of life and can't do that. Does that seem upsetting? That's because it is. Everyone is going to leave their life with a regret. But there are regrets that you can fix now. It's difficult to change your mindset immediately, but by taking calculated and affirmed risks and ignoring the voice that tells you no, for no good reason, you will begin to see subtle changes in your life. You don't need others' permission to affirm your decisions too. Too much positivity? We mentioned that some negative thoughts are fine. Likewise, we might as well talk about to what degree that positivity can be bad. Being optimistic is great, but some take it too far and think that positive thinking will make them invincible. Try diving into lava while thinking that you won't get burned as long as you think positive. It's not going to work. While that's a hyperbolic example, some people will use their positive thinking to ignore possible consequences and risks, and ignore a bad situation, as they think it'll fix itself. If you want a bulletproof mind, you want to be decisive and try to take the calculated risks, but not all risks are created equal. An example of a low-level risk is asking someone on a date. The worst that will happen is they'll say no. A high-level risk is gambling all your money away in the hopes that positive thinking will double it. As you're losing money, you should probably pull back. Your mind needs to have a balance, like yin and yang. Keep a somewhat positive outlook. Work hard to accomplish your goals, but be realistic when needed. Think critically, and always see how you can improve yourself. Applying the key elements of decisiveness. Be confident. Think positively. You can play positive recordings, push out negative thoughts, and be like the engine that keeps repeating that you can do it. It's hard to change your outlook right away, but by slowly incorporating more positive elements into your life, you can slowly get rid of doubts. Take calculated risks. If you're wanting to ask someone out, think about the right time to do it. Don't wait, but don't do it right away. Strike a conversation and figure out the best time to ask. Set yourself on a time frame if you have to in order to give you time to build up some courage, but not procrastinate. Don't dwell on the past. Don't listen to people who says it can't be done. Instead, if it couldn't be done, question them back. Why it couldn't be done. Stepping out of the comfort zone. If it doesn't work, return back to it, and at least know that you have tried, at least initially. What matters is that you will find a new way to get out of the comfort zone. Don't just return to normalcy because one thing didn't work. Further, imagine, think, and plan about the alternatives.